Hey
What
guys.
did you guys think of that?
Howdy.
One of my favorite songs in the whole world, and I can almost play the intro on the guitar. So almost.
I love that opening though. It kind of lulls you into. I'm like, oh, this is very benign. It's just like people, and then all of a sudden things start to ramp up.
Mm, I don't know. I like to play. We have a commercial music license, so I like to play with the intros sometimes just for fun. Um, so everybody, we're expecting Gemini to pop in at one point, but for those that are watching, Mr. Paul Gambino is back.
Yeah.
Author,
Yay!
Oh, thank you.
newest book just kind of blew my mind. Like, oh wow! I mean, I knew about the Victorian, death photos, but to put it all in one place and have something to really read, the history of it is amazing. So I thought it would be perfect for a Halloween episode talking about death.
Yeah. Well, Beyond the Veil, my Beyond the Veil is there's Beyond the Dark Veil. That's Thanatos' collection. That's 100% post-mortems, and that collection by Jack Mort is amazing. And if you
Hmm.
follow him, he just keeps pulling more and more stuff out of his collection. It rivals almost Burns's collection in terms of the post-mortem stuff.
Yeah.
My Beyond the Veil is definitely chapters on post-mortem photography, but a lot of it is why those things happened and why Victorians were so obsessed with uh, death. And it really, you want me to go on about that?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
please. No,
okay,
I
okay.
This
think
is
we're both
fascinating stuff.
very fascinated. Yeah.
Yeah. So the interesting thing that happened, like people ask me, oh, you know, what did you find most, shocking about when you did the book? And I guess some of it has to do with like maybe I'm somewhat jaded, um, because the four previous books and my own collection, I've seen a lot of stuff that is truly shocking, even especially even like with killer collections, the serial killer stuff, because um, a lot of the other collections, Morbid Skulls and Gothic, it was there's aesthetics to it, and you can understand the provenance and stuff like that. Killer Collections, excuse me, was 100% came out of a horrific situation. So when they asked me what I found most shocking or surprising about doing Beyond the Veil, it wasn't as much that it was shocking or it was surprising. It wasn't shocking, and I don't think many things could shock me, too much. But was the research of the book wound up becoming it was the way that Victorians were forced to live what made it so that they had to embrace death so much. And
Hmm.
you got to remember the antibiotics hadn't happened yet. Um, they didn't believe, a lot of doctors didn't believe in germs. So uh, it was kind of like a death sentence almost to go into a hospital because of sepsis and stuff like that. I mean, I forget
Right.
what, I think it was Garfield and the other president in the book. They both were shot and died, but they didn't die from the bullet wound. They died because the doctors kept going in there and reinfecting them, reinfecting them, and reinfecting them. So, um, and then 1 in 5 children didn't make it past. No, 1 in 10 didn't make it past 5. Um, infant mortality was always around. You had the Ripper going around England. You had homes in back in the States. Um, and then working conditions were terrible. Um, so people were killed constantly, or the working conditions just battered their bodies so
Hmm.
devastatingly that that it was just inevitable that their lifespan was going to be so short. So it wasn't, and then as a result of that, it was a way to um, and I did an interview with the funeral director, the Museum of Funeral Services, I think it is, and they were very much into that, thought that this was a good thing in relation to now how when people die, the mourning period is very short. Usually, at least you know what I mean. In the Western world, it's like 1 day, maybe 2 days, quick cremation, maybe not even the body being laid out. Where there it was very a lot of pomp and circumstance and a lot of um, uh, ceremony went into the passing of the person, even if you didn't have a lot of money. So that was a thing to do. I mean, it was instead of avoiding it and making believe it didn't happen, it was inevitable. Not that it's not inevitable now, but it's a little bit rarer um, than it is was then, or it wasn't as not common. It wasn't as frequent.
Yeah.
There
I
was
feel like they embraced it more. Like they maybe
a,
possibly
yeah, but
possibly
it
a
seems.
way of go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
It may be a way of them dealing with the grief, so
Exactly.
embracing death, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Instead of avoiding it and saying, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it this way.
I also
And
think that
obviously, mhm,
cleanliness standards back in that time just were not there. I mean,
yeah.
you
I
know,
mean,
that's why
water
they
was, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's how Queen Victoria's husband died. From drinking bad water
Mhm.
that was actually in the palace.
Yeah,
So yeah,
because it was so prevalent, they had to live with it, and that whole concept of memento mori was a real thing. Like people lived with death all the time. Like we're in this culture now where we're very separated culturally. Like people don't talk about it, we don't think about it. Oh, the devil's here! Oh my! Oh my!
Hello,
Oh
Miss
subliminal. Yeah.
Gemini.
devil!
Better
We
be
got
scared.
we got demons popping up all over the place. Oh, shamalama ding
It's
dong.
not
We need to
uncommon.
exorcise these demons.
Not uncommon in the unexplained realms.
Nope.
But anyway, um,
Can you
uh,
guys hear me?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we are talking about
Wow.
we're talking about Paul's new book, like Victorian death.
Beyond the veil, the obsession
Yeah,
with
beyond the veil.
death and mourning.
And they kind of embraced death, took
Yeah.
photos of the dead.
I love death. Yes. And the book is amazing. I love the pictures. I loved the work.
Oh, great. So you do have it. Okay.
All right. So back where were we?
I worked in a cemetery for a year, many years ago, and so I saw a lot of death
Wow.
until like I had to do a couple of baby funerals, and that like taxed me out. Like I was done after that, but in that time, like I had to like witness the disinterments and stuff like this,
Really?
and a few of those were pretty gnarly. Um,
Walk us through
but
one of those. That I'd be really fascinated. So, like, what do they pull up with? Heavy
um,
equipment?
yeah, heavy equipment. They'll take a backhoe and cut, shave off the top few layers, and then have to jump in there with shovels to get the because there's the coffin, and then there's the oh, what do they call it, the concrete
Yeah. Like
box that goes
sarcophagus.
over
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and
So
so they
every
have to.
coffin, every grave has that. I thought you had to pay extra. Every grave is lined with cement like that.
Yeah,
Ah.
in the cemetery I worked at
Oh,
was,
okay.
and they required that for, you know, whatever. It was basically, it's not kind of, it's a scam, but they make the family pay for this. Um,
Well, maybe it's for
the
seepage into the ground and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
that's what they say. But the one that I witnessed is they pull the top off of that concrete part, and then they have to put straps under the coffin and then pull it out, right? Well, after a few years, that wood coffin falls apart, it
Mhm.
rots. And there was one disinterment where um, it was probably 20 years old, and they were going to move this family member to another part of the cemetery where the rest of the family was, and the bottom side popped off, broke off as they pulled it out of the concrete.
Is the family
And
there?
no,
Oh, okay.
no. But the guy's legs slipped out, so there's like this
Oh my
skeletal leg
gosh.
with, and like fluid, this
Ooh.
gnarly fluid just seeping,
Ah.
rushing out, and this leg with shoes coming out with this, gnarly dress pant
Mm,
sliding out, and they have to kind of, these poor guys that actually work in the grave, they have to fix that and get it back in there, and then move that over to the other side of the grave into the next concrete box, and then do it again. It's a
So,
nasty business.
so then they must not have been dead for long because I mean, if there is still fluid, what, a couple months maybe?
Well, the fluid is, that box is sealed, and also, from rains and stuff like that. It might have been the time of year where there might have been some monsoons that were left over, that stuff seeped in, and I think it was about a 20-year-old grave, but it
yeah, there's still some stuff left to decompose. That black sludge, right? I
yeah,
mean, the skin turns into like a black sludge. And it was interesting. I was curious, like you said a few times, like why? I thought maybe these were like post-mortem for like criminal situations, but no, it's most common because they want to move the body from one grave to another. You're saying, right?
right. It's because they want the family members to be together, or whatever the situation is. But it's very rare, but it does happen. It happened, I think, twice in the year that I was there. Um,
Grave
but
robbing, people don't realize that because back in the Victorian era with all that grave robbing going on, people think they would dig up the whole grave. They would just dig up like 3 feet from the top, bust the grave, and then just slide the body out. You know what I mean? Because the big deal
uh,
wasn't because it was, they said that the hardest part was making the grave look like there was nothing wrong with it or hadn't been touched. So the less dirt you moved around, you know, uh, I got to get
Oh, oh,
kids.
oh,
he's
I'm
got
sorry.
trick or
trick-or-treaters,
treaters! Yay! That's
yay!
good. We will entertain ourselves. um,
Are you
so
getting hot in there, Gemini?
yeah, right? Yeah. So I just
Yes,
want to
I
ask.
am.
I just want to ask the question. What is your favorite candy? But not like all year round. Okay, like your favorite Halloween candy that you want specifically, like on Halloween. Anything that.
Mm, candy corn.
Oh my God! I'm not the only
Really?
one. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
love candy corn, and everybody gives me so much crap. They're like,
I
you
don't get it. I mean, it's like Halloween, Americana,
I
Halloween,
know.
plastic. I mean, what's
I
better
love
than
it.
that?
I know, but everybody
I
seems to
just
hate it.
I
Uh
just like eating the little white tops off.
oh.
That's my favorite
Oh,
part, just the
really?
white
I
top.
like the orange part. And I love when they're like fresh, quote unquote fresh,
Yeah.
like when they're not stale. They're so good.
So HG, you're like a candy corn murderer. Like you're not even like you're not even
I just
like yeah, you're just like
decapitate them.
decapitating them. Like that's so
Yeah,
violent. I knew
exactly.
a
Oh, I
horror
love that.
story short coming on.
Whoppers are
Candy
my
corn.
favorite.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh,
I like
Whoppers.
Whoppers.
I feel like that could be my next short horror story. You know, the candy corn murderer.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be good.
the
I
candy
No,
loved your
decapitator.
short story. On I listened to it on
oh,
Spotify, and I didn't want it to stop ending. I'm like, I
oh,
wonder what happened.
I
I
wrote
wanted
that
it
just
to.
for the show. Paul, I'm a writer too. I'm published. I just do horror short stories and stuff.
Oh,
So
really?
I recently did one of my short stories on as an episode for the show. So yeah, but yeah, A to G tends to inspire me right now. He talked about how he bites the top of a candy corn off. So my
Yeah,
head starts moving like, ooh, short story, candy corn murderer, you know?
that's funny.
It happens. Anyway, we're talking about what our favorite candy is during the Halloween season. You have a favorite?
And it has to be kind of Halloween themed candy.
Yeah, not really,
Yeah,
but
otherwise I wouldn't pick. I mean, I would have to go candy corn because
and
well,
thank you.
what's the other
See, you know
Halloween?
what? I always get so much crap. Everybody's like, that's disgusting. Who eats candy corn? But apparently all of you do too. So we're in the right company.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with candy corn. It's kind of, I mean, I'd rather have a Snickers bar, but
Well,
for a
yeah.
Halloween, you
And
know, candy corn is fine. You know.
I think M&Ms are so much better in the little.
Yeah,
I
No, no,
just love them in the little thing.
that's what I just had to tell the kids now. I bought some candy, and I bought good candy. My wife
Mm.
came home yesterday with like dum dum lollipops. No, that's junk. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I had to like split it up and put two from this one from that one. So the kids
Gotta
don't
have
think that.
standards for
Yeah,
candy.
exactly. You
And
know.
I would have liked to trick or treat your house as a kid. He gives out the good stuff.
Yeah.
And why
Well, I
is the
mean,
mystery flavor of Dum Dums just always vanilla?
yeah, they're all the same,
Right?
right? It doesn't matter what color the wrapping is.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Dum
wax.
Dums
My
are.
favorite Dum Dum is the blue raspberry. What about you guys?
I don't
Mm,
know. I'll bring them up after when the next
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I could try them all.
Yeah,
I don't
Apple.
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
apple's
Oh, the
good.
apple one.
Ooh,
See, that's the thing. If you can, the ones that you can tell what the taste is, then
Hmm.
it's good. What the
Like
flavor
the
Yeah.
is.
grape.
Yeah, yeah. They have to be those
yeah, I
strong,
agree.
those strong
I
ones.
think any candy that does mystery flavor, it's just a joke. Come on now. You can never
Yeah, do
find
it
out.
fun.
Yeah, my son was young when the Harry Potter thing was big. Is that my phone?
Yeah.
You
Trick
know
or
what? You guys
treat.
talk. It's
It's
very
okay,
rude
trick or
of me to do this.
treat. It's okay. How fun though. We get to watch Paul pass out
I
candy.
know. I love it. I love it.
Well, I think we're fulfilling our trick or treating desires here because none of us get
Yeah.
that. No, yeah, I'm glad you liked that episode. It was written specifically for. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be in any of the books that I have, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to incorporate a story about the old gods, and so that was fun.
Cool.
They tried to summon.
Yeah.
Teenagers tried to summon the old gods, but something came out of the fire and warned them, "Don't do it." It scared them. So yeah, but
Yeah.
that was a fun one. Um,
I would be the one to keep going. I'd be like, let's try again.
probably. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back into death photography and all that. I read something after like looking, at your book a little. I was reading more about later on. There were what is it? I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a spiritualist and began just recording or photographing like around cemeteries and stuff to see if he could catch. Um, do you think that they did anything like that after death? Like they photographed the dead person and then did they ever look for like spirits or
You know,
balls of light?
I guess, but unfortunately, most of that was like charlatans trying to, trick the people into it.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
so I mean, like, they do say that was like the the time when spiritualism really started, and the birthplace being, um, uh, you know, it was actually, what, back in, right? It was back in upstate New York with the sisters,
Hmm.
So, I don't know if they manipulated with the Fox sisters, kind of,
Hmm. Yeah.
perpetuated that whole thing that they could speak to the dead. And then there was tons of, the imagery and I don't know if you've seen all those, there's all those photographs of those people documenting like tables flying around
Right.
and
And
the plasma coming
ectoplasm.
out of people's noses and
Like the
private
episode
parts. I'm
episode
sorry.
I did, the episode I did earlier this year about Harry Houdini. He
Hmm.
was one of the people that just crusaded to prove that those people were not real or whatnot.
Well, that's
So,
because he got duped.
hmm
I think it was him and
Sir
right Conan
Arthur,
Doyle, Arthur
yeah,
Conan Doyle. They were buddies.
hmm
And his
the
wife,
whole,
I think it was Conan Doyle's wife, was a medium and tried to,
hmm
she told Harry Houdini that he was speaking to his wife, to his mother. I'm sorry, yes,
hmm
Houdini's mother, and she gave him this information, but Houdini's mother didn't speak English; she only
right.
spoke Hebrew,
Yeah,
and so it
he didn't
caused a
believe
big
it,
rift
and
between the two of them.
it really affected their friendship. I did
Yeah,
the whole episode like timeline and included all of that in there, and yeah, interesting stuff. And then he went up against, well, I think he went before Congress or something, or to prove that one woman was not a fraud or whatnot, because she was saying she was a psychic or something. I'd have to go back to the episode. I can't remember her name, but he
yeah,
led that crusade against the fake spiritualists. So
yeah. Supposedly he would like put rubber bands around his legs, right, so that they became really inflamed. so that he could feel the slightest movement, like under the tables of people,
Mm-hmm.
people were
Oh
moving their legs and
wow.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, go back and watch that episode, and you'll see it was wild. I mean, I agreed with him, but I also felt like, whoa, like how far are you gonna go? Like, why does it mean that much to you? You
Because
know?
of the personal thing, because of
Yeah.
that. Because he was a believer, and then like,
Hmm.
and to have that pulled out from under him, I think,
Hmm.
and it meant he's very close to his mother, so that was a bad
Yeah, it made
scene.
him mad.
Yeah.
And then his death was suspicious. When he was in the hospital,
With the
he was
busted.
given the
Yeah.
wrong medication or something. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
But
Yeah,
I
it's
also think there is something to like those times, like they were, in relationship with the dead more, where stuff probably really was happening. Because like when you form a relationship with anything, then you see it more. And then what
That's
do you
a
guys
good
think
point.
about?
So what you're saying is because they were so steeped in it that if it was to materialize, it would have been around them.
Yeah, because they're looking for it.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens with me because I'm always looking up, and now I see anomalies in the sky all the time, or whatever.
Hmm.
or all those things always happening, and you were just not paying attention before, but now you're paying attention,
Yeah.
and so there comes that idea of confirmation bias too, where Houdini had convinced himself they were all frauds, so he
Mm.
had a crusade to make sure they were all exposed as frauds. Whereas somebody like us who have these spiritual experiences, like sometimes we can get too steeped in that, and then everything is a spiritual experience. Like every little cloud is a UFO, or every smoke is a spirit or something like that, where it sometimes it's just smoke, and sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but also those dreams can be speaking to us too. So it's what I guess it's kind of that idea of the universe is all mental. Everything that we experience is here, and so however we interpret these things, it's going to be whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Who's that scientist? He's like really a physicist. Guy with the mustache. He like
Not like old, like
Freud
Tesla,
or
Einstein.
no. He's present. Like he's on,
oh
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
No, you do. If you
I
saw
don't
him,
know. Maybe
what's his name?
Um,
is he on the news a lot? Like
Yeah, he's like
talking
comments
to a
on stuff.
the star
physicist?
guy, the astrophysicist
Yeah,
guy.
he's an astrophysicist. Like
Neil
Yeah,
deGrasse
Oh,
yeah,
Neil
yeah,
deGrasse.
deGrasse.
Neil. There. Okay,
deGrasse.
yeah,
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 deGrasse
yeah.
He
Tyson.
said something. He was talking about death with some person who really wanted, and it went back and forth, and I'm gonna like, squash it. But he said that the guy was like, well, you do you believe in the afterlife? And he said, no. He goes, I believe that when you die, there's nothing more. You do not exist anymore. So the guy was taken aback by that.
Okay.
And then they didn't try, but he knew that's the reaction he was going to get. And he said, and I know this sounds ridiculously simple and we've all thought about it, but if you listen to it in his context, it seems like really there's nothing to be afraid of. He said, how did you feel before you were born? And the guy was like, fine, I guess. And he said, well, that's exactly how you're going to feel when you die. You know what I mean? It was fine. It was fine before, and it's fine now, but you don't exist in this universe anymore, you know? Um,
Hmm.
and I,
Hmm.
it
I
all,
kind of
because
wonder.
I grapple with that, like everybody does, like, well, what is it going to be? And it's the eternity thing. But if you say that you were fine before you were born, I mean, really, because if you try to think about what it was like before you were born, it's like, it wasn't bad, I guess. I wasn't born, but you know, so if that's what I'm going to go back to, I guess it's okay. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was, you know,
Well, I wonder
Hmm.
if there is some truth to that. I mean, what if this universe is just our reality here? When you die, you know you don't live in this universe anymore because that's our reality. You go on to something
Well,
higher
that
or
you know
different.
what he said that he said, because what it is, there's more stars than there are grains of sand on the stuff.
Right,
So he said, it's ridiculous to think that. He said you probably will go, but it won't be you. The guy kept saying, "Will it be me?" He said, "No, it won't be you. You're gone, but you will be there." And he said, "Well, what if I have the same experiences?" You're not going to have them. He says, and you may, but you got to get past that. It's not you anymore. You know what I mean? It's not the
right,
you that I'm speaking to, but you may exist again. Or
mhm,
he said
Right.
there's a great possibility because, I mean, I don't
I think
understand that whole string theory and then people
that
live on the slice of you know what I mean? But, you
it
know,
Right.
runs into like the concept of a soul, and the religious aspect of a soul. So
well, he
yeah,
takes that
when
out because he's an atheist,
right,
you
but
know?
I'm comparing it in that way because what I believe he's saying, what I am interpreting is that you are not going to go because you are no longer. But if you look at it in terms of a
But your
soul,
energy
yeah,
is.
your energy or your soul or whatever is going to leave, but your physical body, your quirks, they stay here. That's part of this reality. That's just what I believe.
Right. It's the idea that energy cannot be destroyed. It's just transformed. Like it's
Mhm.
changed. And I've heard Neil deGrasse Tyson argue that consciousness doesn't even exist.
Oh,
But
really?
uh,
Mhm.
which freaks me out. Like I don't understand that part at all. But I can understand toying with the idea, kind of like
What does he say about that?
uh, I don't remember. It's been years
Yeah.
ago, but he's kind of
See if I can.
he's an interesting character in that he evolves these things as we all do, And
Mhm.
I've seen him on interviews, arguing the whole mythology of the Matrix too,
Hmm.
of the simulation theory. So I think, as we all kind of go through life and figure out, our place, we have to toy with these ideas. And so I don't, I don't know. There was no, at the time, it was a long time ago, but he was kind of saying that there was no scientific basis for consciousness.
Right.
Like
I
it
have.
wasn't a tangible thing, but
I'm, I'm
like our
looking at a little.
experiences are not tangible things.
Mm.
I'm looking at a little clip I found of him, and he's saying that we don't know enough about consciousness to believe that it's real. So that's what his belief was.
Right.
That's what's so funny about humans. They have to like be able to touch it, but it's like you can't touch your soul. So do you believe you're alive? You know what I mean? It's just like,
I feel
why
like
must we touch something to believe in it?
I feel
Or
like
maybe that's the difference between belief and knowing. Like, I know I exist. I know I'm an energy.
I feel like he's somebody that might be afraid. That's why he
Hmm.
argues in
Mm.
that way. He's fearful of the unknown, something he can't touch, and I think
Right.
that tends
Makes
to
sense.
be.
Then he's a scientist because he wants to find
Right.
that tangible proof.
And
Right. That makes sense.
that's what happens in the cult of scientism is that it has to be repeatable. You have to touch it. You has to be, um, but these things are repeatable. Like these experiences are repeatable. Many of us have unexplainable, like that's the reason for this show, right? Unexplained realms. We
Right.
have unexplainable experiences that, aren't able to be
Explain
tangibly explained by,
Quantify.
you know, matter, material means. And the cult of scientism as it is right now is that everything is matter. And clearly our experiences are not.
that. So, Paul, while you were writing this particular book, did you have any strange experiences, especially since
Yeah.
it was so heavy on the dead and whatnot? Any strange things that occurred?
I wish I could say I did,
Oh,
but
no.
um, it's not my first foray into being completely surrounded, and this was a little bit different because it was so much research, whereas all my other books I came like my very the first book, like Morbid Curiosities, one of the like visceral moments was, and it was the first time it ever had, I was the first time I came close to it and actually was given it to hold, was Eric Dorr, who used to live up in Sacramento. He had an amazing home in Sacramento. Now he has a museum in Gettysburg. Um,
Hmm.
he had he had at the time, I think he might have only had two or three shrunken heads, and so he had him in this cabinet, and he said, "Oh, you want to hold one, right?" So,
Oh my gosh.
I didn't particularly, I didn't not want to, and I definitely didn't want to offend him. And I thought it'd be a good experience. I never did. So so then he took it out, and this weird smell comes out, and then you hold it, and then it becomes a thing where, even though, like, so you say that I haven't any kind of experience, like a shrunken head is pretty close to, um, like a true, almost like what we like a Hollywood monster. You know what I mean? This is
Hmm.
literally a shrunken head, and if anything's going to come alive or is going to be, unless you're standing next to a mummy, or you know what I mean, and we were talking about how physically, a tangible thing, or we have to touch it, you know, and I guess that comes back to what it is, like, you know I fall victim to that, like, although I'm very open. I don't understand how anybody, blanketly disagrees with anything. You know what I mean? That, like,
Hmm.
so I don't get that. So I don't fall into that category. But I do. It's always nicer to be able, I guess, for all of us. Even if you have a tremendous faith in certain things, if you could actually see it or touch it, that would be even better. So that was like the spookiest thing that ever happened to me while writing a book.
Hmm.
In a sense of, because and it's interesting because we were talking about that physical thing, yeah, because that was, like I say, and I'm being redundant, repeating it, but to actually hold something, you know, because I have a lot of skulls in my house, and the first skull I got was pretty, because I was very frightened of skulls and skeletons as a kid, and it's really sad right now too, because does anybody here collect skulls, human skulls? Okay,
I don't have very many,
Not,
but
not
yeah,
humans.
yeah, but the price has gone down ridiculous, tremendously,
mhm,
and I think that's really disrespectful. I mean, this is a human skull, and they used to be, back in the day, I suppose, you were able to, to grab them really cheap when they were coming in illegally from all over. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if you guys know about this, the whole India train opened up, and all these grave robbed skulls came in about 2 or 3 years ago, and the prices just dropped, But
Oh, really? I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah, so yeah, that's where they were
So they're
coming in
out there robbing graves to
in
black
India.
market these
Yeah.
skulls. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, supposedly some of them were coming in with dirt on them and stuff still and stuff
mhm,
like that.
Wow.
And that's been all cracked down again. So and so it I'm getting back to the point that, you know, and there should be something you should be able to open, like maybe you people would be, either the three of you, like, or you with your skulls. I mean, if you could feel a connection other than an appreciation. You know what I mean? Because when I look at mine, I'm like, this was somebody, and it's
mhm,
just like, I have like three of them here, two of them there. Very respectful to all of them. You know what I mean? They're displayed, kept clean. But
mhm.
they still don't. It's still to me, it's unfathomable that
Mind
I have.
blowing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know how much more. This is answering two questions. One is no, nothing in that book, but in previous books, yeah, things kind of creep me out. Um, and the thing about physical manifestation of what you believe, I don't
Mhm,
know. I mean, I don't know how much more I have to. There should be, like, I wanted to do a book on haunting, and I think I brought this up to you last time. Was here that book
mhm,
got
mhm,
crushed, you know, um, but I'm still trying to push it. But it got very close to being done, and the budget was real weird. So, but whatever. But what was I going to say with that? What, the book on? Oh yeah, that, so I knew there was going to be a lot of pushback on. what's haunted, what's, oh, this is haunted. Everybody says things are haunted.
Mm,
And then I interviewed somebody who collects us, and they said, look, a haunted piece could be something that when somebody looks at it, for them, it evokes some kind of otherworldly or something. So that piece is it might not be quote unquote haunted to everyone, but that piece is some kind of transmitter, or you know what I mean, to hit that person.
Right.
You know what I
and
mean?
I feel that is exactly how things are when it comes to hauntings. For example, like I did the Black Monk episode a couple weeks ago, where I mean there was this haunted house and it was haunting them, throwing things at them, beating them up, threw a bed on a 13-year-old kind of thing. They moved, and since then, no one's ever reported any hauntings.
Mm.
So it manifests for each person differently, you know. Like you said, like a transmitter, and perhaps that person's mind is opened enough to see it.
Hmm.
Someone else's might not be. So
And maybe
haunting.
open enough to see it for that specific
Mhm.
haunting, thing. Whereas they don't walk through life, seeing, potentially haunted things all around. They might be right next to something that's haunted for someone else. You know,
Exactly.
so, and I'm very much in I always thought that we live in a world where, like, right here, maybe there's somebody here that I don't
Mm.
know who's he. You know what I mean? That we're in
Mhm.
a world where there's other things going on. We're not just going through this
Oh
life,
yeah.
on our own. We just don't see it. You know what I mean?
We
So,
joke about like me all the time, like am I a medium or something? Because every day I always think, am I going crazy? Am I seeing things? Because like I'll just be mindless. I have a really heavy weighted job during the day. It's very
mm,
fast paced, difficult. And I'm rushing around trying to get ready, or I'm doing something and I feel like somebody's walking at me. I turn and there's no one there. It happens all the time. Or out of the corner of my eye, someone moved across my room, but there's no one there.
yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going crazy or if I'm just seeing something or multiple things daily. I don't know. It's weird.
And it's about perception, right? Like
Mhm.
those things are happening, but we don't have the equipment.
Hmm.
Like humans, we're shut off from the equipment. Like animals see things all the time. Children see things,
Yeah.
Um, like you see your dog or your cat will bark at nothing in the room, and um, I study owls,
Oh,
and
really?
owls see in several different. They see in ultraviolet, infrared, and
Oh,
there's
wow.
there's a birds also. They're proving now that they see in a magnetic spectrum. Um, and I often wonder if we had the equipment to actually combine those things, because we have ultraviolet cameras and we have infrared, but we don't have like a magnetic spectrum camera.
Mm.
Like there are, but there's not anything that integrates those things. And I was talking to some friends a while back about if we could like integrate some sort of equipment technology that we could integrate all those things, like what could we possibly be seeing? Because there's all these
Mm.
stories of guys in Afghanistan and Iraq using night vision goggles and seeing, jinn like
Oh, really? I didn't know
flowy
that.
characters in through the desert and stuff that freaked them out. And when you watch an owl, they'll be looking at things. Obviously they're looking for prey at night, but they're also seeing things that they're looking at things that grab their attention that you know we don't see. There's
Mm.
like to me, there's nothing, but clearly they're hit on something. And if we had those kind of like, I was thinking about how the solar flares are really bumping up, and how over the last year or so, all the northern lights are going crazy. All the auroras, they're
Mhm.
seeing them all the way down into, Colorado and Nevada and stuff, and northern Arizona even. But if say those solar flares were to change our spectrum
Mm.
on the Earth, like if we could actually see all of a sudden something happens and we can see all those spectrums around us, what would happen to the human psyche. Like if we saw all the spirits that were all here, all the jinn, all the demons, all the everything, the good and the bad, like what would happen to the human condition? Like we'd all have to completely reevaluate our reality.
Yeah, and didn't they say that like the concept of um ghost as non three-dimensional objects is relatively recent? Like years and years and years and years ago, they felt that you would be approached by ghosts like in a physical form, not a zombie. They weren't a zombie, but so I don't know where this shift came that, and I wonder what the shift was that people felt like, oh, I don't
It
know.
probably could have been Christianity or, the
Yeah,
Catholic
maybe it
Church
was
not
religion, right?
wanting us to
Thank
um
you.
try to find, they only want us to see one way.
So real quick, not to interrupt, I want to keep going here, but I threw up a QR code for Paul's
Oh,
book.
cool.
You pull your phone out, anybody that's watching, you just take a picture of that QR code and it's going to take you directly to his link where you
Oh,
can
cool.
purchase this book. So I'm going to leave
Yeah.
it up there for a little bit. We'll keep going and I'll take it down and pop it back up here and there. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, moving
Can we
on.
show some of the pictures, Paul?
Yeah, I mean,
Let me
the
see.
photos are, more um, historical in nature,
Mm,
as opposed to, you know, it's very heavy on illustrations and photos. I tried to get as many photos as opposed to illustrations, um, because I felt that it just made it more real. Um, but
let me grab a few
yeah,
here.
Did it start with the babies? Because I know there were a lot of children post-mortem pictures back then. Did
well,
it start because of the infant mortality rate?
two things. One, because the infant mortality rate was so high, and because they were so young, there was no documentation. If you didn't have a photo of them there's no documentation. People didn't take like birthday photos and stuff like that, so there would be no photo of the person unless they took that post-mortem of the child.
Oh, wow.
Shows. Take some. I'm just gonna run to the
Hang on, let me see.
Ding
I got.
dong.
Oh, okay. It's okay. While we wait for Paul to come back, I'm going to put one of his photos up there. I'm talking about child mortality. There you go. It's a
Yeah.
child. So, and I think that that's more likely how things went. There was no way to document it back then, so that's what they did. They photographed it. So
Right.
So they wouldn't really take pictures alive, is that what he was saying?
I'm sure they did, but um, we'll let him clarify that. I think this
Yeah, I
one.
don't think it was that
And
common
and I wonder
until
and I wonder why we stopped doing that.
I don't know.
why we stopped. Well,
Taking pictures
I
like that.
mean, we have a lot more photography. We have a lot more evidence of people's lives now that are
Oh,
documented.
true,
I mean,
true.
all the time. So, like with this child, his that might be the only picture taken of that kid, of that
Absolutely.
person. So it was evidence for the family that they wanted to
So
remember this
Paul,
person.
why do you think that they didn't do photography of the living? Because
Well,
no
they
one had
did.
access?
It was expensive. Yeah, it was right before the Victorian era, or early in the Victorian era. It was still very expensive. So um, you couldn't. You didn't. The upper class or the rich, they took photos, but everybody else, that wasn't going to happen unless there was one big event and you took the big photo, and then. But like you're
Oh,
saying,
wow.
that's actually the Ripper victim. Um, so. But about the children, lots of times they were posed like with a ball, almost to look like they were still alive. You know,
Like this first one, like this little guy. He just looked like he's taking a nap.
Yeah, but they'll have them sitting up, or holding a ball or their favorite toy. So it really shows that it wasn't this macabre or this
Mm,
morbid thing. It was really out of love that, and missing these children. Not that everybody does, but we don't do that now. But that's not necessarily true. A photographer friend of mine, Dan Howell, who shot a lot of stuff in my other books, he was on a registry, and I had been on a shoot with him once where he got a call, and parents had called him that their child was dying in the hospital, and they, he wanted him to
Oh,
photograph the child
really?
before yeah, yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I'll
wow.
grant you it was pretty rare, but it still does exist, and it also super exists in, like, I think it's like Guyana or something. We all see those images of those, the body is embalmed and like sitting at a
Mm.
piano or something like that, and
mm,
everybody's dancing around it and drinking with it, and everyone's photographing them and stuff. So it is definitely a Western thing, or
Oh,
as you
yeah,
said
yeah, yeah.
earlier, Judeo-Christian thing to like kind of like this is not cool, to do this. So, but that's see that's really kind of like, I don't know, that's what got me. I used to collect. Um, I used to collect postmortems, and then I concentrated on postmortem Victorian children. So that's really what my thing is, and it's just because I don't know what this thing is with me and finding, like, I was going to tell you before, not this time, but I I have this thing where I could find like this melancholy in stuff that it's just torturous, like this one person that just before this there was a boy and his mother, and you could tell like the boy like had no friends. It was just him with his mother, you know what I mean? And he was very shy and stuff like that. And it's like I know when he's walking with his mom, because he's a little bit too old for his mom. Not too old, but he sees all these other kids with their friends and stuff, and he's by himself. It's gotta hurt him, you know what I mean? So
mm,
even in this, like, and so many times I'm at the park. The other day I was at the park. There was this kid desperately, this little boy desperately seeking attention from his mom. You could tell,
mm.
and she's on the phone, and I'm just like, this is just so heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Kids,
Yeah.
they gotta, they should, their life should be perfect because it's gonna
Mm.
suck, or it's gonna be rough. Put it that way, and I don't know, man, but
I
I,
think
I do that a lot,
these
and
days,
especially with children.
yeah,
This thing that, and I don't think I mean I was a loner as a kid, so there might be some
maybe.
empathy, like I relate to them, but it's just like
I think
I
though
don't know.
that you're just probably an empathetic person, number one. But
Yeah, yeah,
I think
maybe.
I see the same thing. I see it even in adults or children, and you'll see it come across a situation, and you're just thinking, why? Like, why is that
Yeah,
happening? Why is it
yeah,
like that?
Mm.
And
yeah.
you're right. Kids will have it rough as they grow up, and especially in this day and age, things are just getting more difficult than they were
Hmm.
for any of us when we were younger.
Yeah,
So if they're not parented the correct way or taught the correct way, life is really going to suck. And that's why I think there's so many broken people in the world. Parents
yeah.
didn't teach them enough, didn't, push them or encourage them or whatnot. So,
And
Or
there,
just make them feel safe and
mhm.
wanted, you
right,
know what I mean? Then if I'm thinking, I
right.
remember when I had my son, and I would look at him, and he was grown up to be like this really good, and we, obviously just like showered him with love and stuff like that all the time. And I thought, he could go bad. You know what I mean? Kids can go bad no matter
Mhm.
what the upbringing is. So, and I grew up in a pretty racist household as a kid,
Mhm.
and not as I got old, I kind of, obviously shook that. I, but in retrospect, it wasn't until I had my son and that thought came to me. I was like, these kids that grow up in a effed up home with like drug dealers as this and that and all that kind of stuff. And then if you just want to pick a place, that everyone knows, let's just say Compton, those kids out of Compton. First of all, a huge percentage of those kids don't go gang. So that's some testament to those kids
Uh,
that don't do it, right?
I've
I
worked
mean,
in Compton, and again, I
okay.
can't talk about what I do for a living, but years ago I
Hmm.
worked in Compton, and what I found with the children there, you are correct. Not all of them go gangbanger. A lot of them are forced into that life. They're not. It's not
Mm,
a
Right.
choice. And those that are not forced into it, they just don't understand. They just are not. They want to be loved. They want to be paid attention to, and They're not getting that. And I noticed it wasn't necessarily mom's fault or dad's fault. It's the world. Mom and dad are working two
Mhm.
jobs because they can't afford to live. So therefore, this child is latchkey kid walking home from school through the bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
Mom and dad come home from work, they're extremely tired, money is still an issue. So there's a lot of components. It's not necessarily always the druggy household.
Okay. Yeah.
um but there is that. You can see the clear difference between parents like us and people that didn't have opportunity or they were druggies, whatever. Like my children are extremely successful. We are not rich. I struggled most of my life to take care of them, but I did it, and they are all college educated and
Hmm.
out there making a difference in the world. But I think the key was shower them with love.
Yeah.
Let them know they're loved, that they're wanted, that they're encourage them to go be a change, a force in the world. You know. So
And the
when there's a
safety
lot
of
of
the home. Like they'll try stuff. I knew my son knew I'll try this because he knew he could come back when he came home.
hmm
It would be all right. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
there's a safe place to come back to. You know what I
hmm
mean? So
hmm
because you want them to try stuff, but if they feel like they're living on the edge, even in the house,
they're
they're
not
not
going to
even
come
going to
Yeah.
back.
try stuff. Yeah, they're going,
hmm
or they're going to take the wrong road.
And then
That's a
if
good point, Paul. I like that.
mm, I
It's
um I had that situation growing up. I love my parents; they're amazing, but there was a lot of tension, and so there was times where like I didn't feel like I should even ask them, "Can I come back?" Like, let me just go figure this out.
mm,
So it's been majority of my life like, let's go figure this out, and I did. But you can imagine in a really terrible household, that would just never be an option. Like I
yeah.
can never go back there. So anyway,
How could we tie? I guess you could kind of tie that back to what what we're talking about. I mean,
well, I think that the living at this point is much worse than death. So, I
yeah.
mean, the world we live in is so much more chaotic than the thought of death or anything beyond us.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
a thing too. Like, you do that and it's amazing how so many times you'll truly believe like, you'll be like, "You know what? If I died right now, it'd be just fine." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Mhm.
You
I
know?
see it all the
But
time.
then
Like the
there'll be
world
times you're like,
ends.
this is, "Oh, I don't wanna die." You know what I mean? So
Right.
how can you make
Yeah.
such
Well,
dramatic shifts,
it's not
And I
like we go around saying I want to die, but for me, I'm just looking around like, well, if the world ends tonight, I'm good. Like, let's go. I'm
yeah,
good. You know.
yeah.
Yeah. I had an NDE from a accidental, or maybe accidental, maybe purposeful OD from opiates and alcohol many
Oh,
years
really?
ago, and it was not what I expected. Um, I mean, clearly I came back,
Mhm.
but it it was calm. Like it
Really?
was loving. It was not. It was. I didn't have the void, and I didn't have the tunnel of light. I didn't have any of that stuff, but it was enough to know like that's where I want to stay. I don't want to go
Mm,
back. Like, and
yeah.
then I was slam back into my body, and then I'm like, shit, I gotta figure this out now. Like,
Really?
this is like, I gotta, I gotta get my shit together, or
Mm.
because
Oh, was this happening like
I don't
Jacob's
want to.
ladder thing? Like, as you were going down, you're thinking of this stuff, or when you came out of it?
When I came out of it,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like coming back, like, um, because I was essentially told, there's a lot of the conversation in that you don't remember. Like, I
Mm,
remember the experience, but not a lot of the details of the conversation. But there wasn't Jesus, there wasn't Buddha. It was a very different, and I share this a little bit on my YouTube, but it was more of a maternal feeling, a maternal connection, and um, like life, it's not ever what you expected it to be.
yeah.
My grandfather had an NDE from a heart attack many years ago when I was in high school, and he came back a very different person.
Wow.
And I that always like really made an impact to me. Like he was very because he was a World War II vet
Mm.
and really hard ass rancher guy, And after that, he was much more gentle. He was
Wow.
helping out. He was doing dishes, um, a much calmer demeanor. And I think that experience for me helped me get clean
Mm.
off of all the medications and opiates and the addictions that I was using to escape life.
Hmm.
Whereas knowing that death wasn't something to be feared made me come back and realize, oh, this is actually the experience of this is actually valuable.
You
And
know, I've heard a lot where people have near death experiences that it forces them to evolve and to kind
yeah,
of, you know,
yep, it'll change you for sure.
You know,
But that
Yeah,
not
especially
having
because
that
if you
fear.
think that if we are an energy that exists forever, then this is like the perfect vacation to forget what we are and experience duality in a quick 100-year way, which is probably nothing if we live forever for an energy that cannot be
yeah.
destroyed.
I don't know if I told you guys this last time, but I had the oddest thing happen to me. I had to go to a pulmonologist, I believe, and I'm despite tattoos, I'm fine with. I have this issue with giving blood.
oh,
It just
Mm,
that thing just it
hmm,
just freaks me out. I can't.
yeah,
So I had to go to do this thing where I had to go in this box booth kind of thing, and I had to breathe for a really long time and everything, and do this thing. I guess they were prepping my lungs or something, and then they said, "Okay, we're going to give you. We need to do we have to take some blood for you, but it has to be for arterial." So I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. You know what I mean? So it's not from your vein, it's from your artery, right? And where
mm,
they take it from is
Oh,
like somewhere around on your hand. So I was like, I don't think that's going to be good for me. She's like, no, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. So that I'm doing the thing, and she starts to do it, and I'm focusing on this, like like those like medical equipment have like this like code numbers and shit like that. You don't know what it is, but
mm.
so I'm trying to focus on that. Not to think of it. I'm like UBC 16, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden I said to the girl, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. And then next thing I know, I'm out, right? And so I'm out, and it feels like, and I've fainted a few times, lots of times. So, but this was a little different, right? So then I'm out, and then I'm coming back, and then I went out again. And when I went out that second time, it was the most bizarre thing. It, and I can clearly understand it, even though I couldn't understand. I It wasn't that I didn't know where I was, because I still knew I was in that office, but I didn't know what I was. It
oh,
was
Oh,
I had
interesting.
totally lost. I truly believe I was out of my body. That's it. Because I didn't know who I was. I was like, I knew where I was, but I can't explain it. But I knew I wasn't this guy in it. And then when I finally came through, they had called the ambulance, because that time when I went back down, my heart rate dropped so much that they thought I was gonna like not die, but they had to bring in somebody to get to get me going again. I don't know if they gave me
mhm.
an injection or whatever, but that's how
Wow.
bad it got. Because when I woke up, I was in like I was like in a hospital, not in a hospital. They had like, because it was like a nurse, like outpatient kind of hospital care. So I was in this other thing, and they said, "Are you all right?" It was very bad, and then so it was a long time. But that see, and I'm disappointed in myself, because like you said, oh, I came back from that, and you changed and you changed. I came back from that, and basically all I have is a semi interesting story. I didn't take anything from that, other than wow, that was really bizarre. And
Perhaps there is something else you were needing to see from it. I mean, in some cases, people are forced to evolve when they're struggling with addictions, and the only way to make them evolve is to force them into this kind of experience.
Hmm.
You are not in that, situation,
Right.
so maybe you're
Maybe.
supposed to see something else from it.
I
Maybe
was
the
frightened by it though, because I was like, I wasn't frightened, but I was frightened by never, because passing out so much. And if everyone hears all every ever, I'm sure everyone here has passed out. There is that nice lull right before you feel sick,
Mm.
but then all of a sudden you don't feel sick anymore, and then it's great.
you're,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? You just go out. You know, um, unfortunately, it that had gone, and then like I said, I came back. I was out of that thing, but I wasn't talk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
I just would. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but I just wish I would have.
mm.
You
Gain
know.
something more from it.
Yeah.
But Paul,
Yeah.
do you like before, were you kind of like possibly questioning like well, like you said, we often question those, but after having that experience, was it kind of, did you ever get like a sense of confirmation like, oh, I'm not just this human body, like I was
You know
something
what? I
outside of
did.
myself?
I did. I did it, and
So
it
that
did
could
give
have
me.
been it, like a
Yeah.
confirmation for you.
Yeah. And it was almost like it was almost like I couldn't see everybody in there because I didn't have that capacity sight, but
Mm,
I was aware that
Oh.
people were in there. You know what I mean? But it was like, and it was it was very much like, and you hear this with a lot of people saying, and I don't know how true it is. You people know much more than I in terms of this, but like I know that famous scene, and I think it's probably Ghost, where they're trying to move something, you know what I mean, and you really can't just do it, and that's kind of what I had a sense of. Like, it'd be very difficult for me to communicate, like, even though I know you're there, it'd be very
mhm,
Mhm.
difficult for me to let you know that I'm here, you
mm,
Well,
know.
that's funny because I do like a lot of, I'm like do a lot of like channeling groups of people who channel, and when I ask them who or what they're channeling, this one female, she channels like an energy. It's like
Mm.
just an energy somewhere like
Mhm.
in like the 15th dimension. And I was like trying to ask like, well, what color are you? And la la la. And they kept iterating that we're just energy. We don't have
Yeah.
eyes. We don't have form. The, I guess
so,
we're blue right now, but we're the only color because we are connecting with you, and you're giving off a blue aura. So that's technically,
so
I
I
guess,
have
what we could say we are.
an interesting
But
story with that, more recent. I can't tell you who because I'm sworn to secrecy about announcing this kind of stuff yet. But um, I had a dream of three little children, right? Little children, and they. I was walking into a barn, weirdly, like all dark, and they're like, how little kids dress up as ghosts with the sheets, put them
Sure.
over themselves. They were all wearing black sheets. I could tell they were
Oh.
little kids
Hmm.
because they're giggling. Each one had a color around them, almost like a neon color. The one that came forward was pink, like an electric pink. And of course, I asked her, "Who are you?" And she giggled, like, whatever, and ran off. A few days later, someone in my life announced a pregnancy.
Oh
So I
wow.
Ah.
believe I saw these, and there was three, but one came forward
Oh.
first, and I think that's
oh, interesting.
that. So yeah, more on that down the road, but I can't say much right now because it's not public information yet. So, but I think that there's a thing to that, like what you're saying, the energy. I think I met this little child for a reason, and I believe that was her aura, you know. So
Mm.
we are energy, and she wanted us to know, like, hey, I'm coming. So I don't know. I could be
Yeah.
just completely off, but I think there is something to be said about energy and auras. So, but yeah. Anyway,
Paul,
And them like playing with us. That's cool.
mm,
with the pictures and like the idea of the Fox sisters channeling people, like, are there any stories of like people experiencing those people after seeing the pictures? Do you know? Like, because I kind of wonder if like people, because you always want to keep that connection. That's why we take pictures of our loved ones, especially to look at these pictures after they've died,
Hmm.
to remember that these people, to have this connection with them. Like my grandmother had kind of a shrine to my grandfather after he passed away. You know, he, we had this painting of him on a horse, and had his war medals and stuff after. And I wonder if those people like did that to, like, did they have not just connection of memory, but actual connection to communicate with them?
You mean you're talking about the which photographs, like the Mueller photos and stuff? People
Like
like that
even,
were
especially in the Victorian area, because the seances and the
unfortunately
spiritualism
those.
was such a
Yeah,
huge thing back then.
unfortunately, most of those photographs, you know, it's like the ones that are most documented are the ones that were turning it into a huge business. So even if their initial
Uh,
intentions were good, or sincere, at one point it just became a thing where I have to continue to keep seeing spirits. I have to continue to keep, you know what I mean, or I'm going to lose my popularity. So and they would allow it to be documented, and then they had to stage a lot of stuff. So that's a good point. I mean, it'd be interesting to find like what would be back in the day a true documentarian who tracked a spiritual, a medium back then and actually photographed just because, not because there was an ulterior motive to have these go to the press. There was press, you know. Yeah. So those photographs I wouldn't, I mean, I don't know what, I don't know what your feelings are on it. I know a lot of people and I understand it. I mean, like it's, I guess, the equivalent of like what's, I'd be curious. I didn't want to bring it up, but I'd be curious of what you are, and you don't have to mention any shows. Like, I'm sure some of the people that host ghost catching or spotting shows were at one time respected people in the industry, but now kind of like have lost,
oh
that.
yeah, for
I think
sure.
a lot of those shows, they've lost their reputation, their
Yeah.
reputability.
But were any
That's
of them
kind of like,
legit before?
Huh?
Were
what's
any of
that?
them legit before?
I mean, maybe back in
Maybe.
Okay.
the beginning.
I almost think it's almost like the Fox sisters themselves. Like it seems like they were legit, as they were young people. Like they were connecting with something other,
No,
right?
they no,
But
not.
Yeah,
they
the story goes that they
they
didn't actually.
immediately
It
They
was a
they
joke. It was a prank on their mother.
right,
they were pranking their
exactly.
mom.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
just,
Was
Um,
one of them named Margaret Fox?
yeah, there
yeah,
was,
I
yeah,
think so.
there's four of them.
Maggie, something like that.
Um,
Didn't she like? Wasn't she hanging out at Club Congress in Tucson
I don't
Oh,
know
is that
anything.
or
right?
something?
Dude,
really?
Congress is super haunted, man.
Yeah,
I
because they were saying that some psychic, something with the M Fox, Margaret Fox, she would come and do seances back in the day, like during that time, but that she ended up being a fraud. So
Yeah, their
I'm
public
thinking it's the same
seances.
one.
Their public seances helped shape that whole spiritualism movement at that time. But they did no, they were fraud. They were. It was all a hoax. So
But they say that one thing that did come out good for women in terms of is that it actually gave. But I guess no, I shouldn't even say that. That's really wrong. Um,
I
if they
think
made
though,
money,
going back to the ghost hunting shows and whatnot,
yeah.
I get very confused because I'm looking at it. I don't know, maybe because my eyes are wide open to things. I'm like, why are we even doing this? We already know they're spirits. We know they're there. I mean,
Hmm.
just because you can't see it, I mean, it's we know. So why are we still continuing to chase spirits? I mean, and
Right.
the whole point of those shows is to document proof that they exist. But we
yeah,
already know
why?
they exist. Yeah, we already know
Exactly.
they exist.
And it's so frustrating too, because you can, once you see it, you can't unsee the fraud. Like
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
can you can see somebody banging on the other side of the table or whatever, and
Right.
or somebody making a, oh my god,
Yeah.
did you hear that? And
I
there's
would love
nothing.
to
Like it's
see
ridiculous.
would love to see a paranormal group that has the mission of assisting the spirits to
Right.
cross over. That would be amazing to see, rather than make this light flash twice, or like show your existence, prove you're here. We already know they're here. We already know that we exist among something else. Spiritual spirits, ancestors, whatever they are. We know it. So to make them force their
That's
appearance.
why I really liked the Dead Files with Amy Allen, because she would go, the cop would do the investigation, and then she would go in and they would see how it would, line up. But I loved how she would have someone draw it out so we could see what she's seeing, and then B, she would tell the family, like, here's what you can do to help yourself and get out of this situation, and she would like give them like guidelines to go forth with. And she ended up having to quit that show because the channel was starting to not let her be the healer that she is. They were
Because they just want it's
trying to
money.
make it commercial. Yeah.
As usual, we are capitalizing on ghosts. I mean, we're trying to make money off of spirits. It's ridiculous.
And you can't make money if it's not sensationalized. And the more
Mm-hmm.
sensationalism there is, the worse the faker it's going to be.
Right.
Or if you
So,
can't see it, like you were saying, if they should concentrate, until we develop something that could, they thought, years and years, the camera was this thing that would be able to capture. But as you said, no, there has to be something that has multiple capabilities to see different frequencies. And until then,
Right.
you might just see a fleeting thing. But based on what you said and the experience that I had, which is not nothing thing, but like if I was truly not for that brief period, not in this, I couldn't, you couldn't see me, and I couldn't contact you. So I could have been right next to you if I stayed there, or my energy could have been right next to you. You never would have known it. You know what I mean? And you couldn't, and you wouldn't have been able to document me being there.
trick or treat. We should start yelling trick or treat every time he has to get up.
Yeah. Trick or treat.
Trick or treat. Smell my feet. Yeah, no. Interesting stuff. I still, like I said, I get confused at those ghost chasing shows. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why? We already know they're there.
I
Um,
know, or like when they have like a bunch of them and then someone's scared and it doesn't go back. And I'm like, well, then what's the point? Like, get your ass back in there, put the recorder on, and go talk to them. Like,
yeah,
that part really
the
pisses me
ones
off.
that,
But
yeah, the
there's no
ones.
talking. Like, it's
Mhm.
just like we communicate. There's no actual
Yeah.
conversing there's no progression of relationship between them
Mhm.
and the thing. It's like saying hi to
Right.
somebody at Walmart. Like, how's the weather today? Great. Are you a
Mhm.
boy or girl?
Well, these shows claim that they're communicating with
Stupid.
spirits, but they're not. They're not.
No, they're
What I
not.
think that makes me most mad is when they taunt them. They taunt the
Oh
spirits,
yeah.
push them so that they'll come forward. But I don't think that's going to make them come forward. I think it's going to make them retreat.
Or for
Well,
me,
if
it's
it,
like, make the EMF go green. Okay, they make it go green. Okay, well, make it do this now. Okay, can you make it go green again? It's like, they
Yeah,
already did it.
it's
They
like
did it. Okay,
you're
let's go on
treating
to the next thing.
you're treating spirits like monkeys.
They're a
Like,
toy. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that irritates me. I cannot watch those shows. I don't even. I won't put them on the TV at all. Um, I just don't. What is that?
Sorry.
ooh,
Train.
yeah.
Train going by.
No, okay.
That's cool.
Is that by
Yeah,
your house?
the train. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What is
Is
spooky
that a
sound for
freight?
Halloween? Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, you can't see it, but it's not very far away. It goes into the mine and brings us back out.
Does it really?
Metals. Yeah, it's the train for the mine.
So you live close to a mine?
Yeah, pretty close.
They're both in
Yeah.
Arizona. They're very lucky. They have this
Oh,
beautiful, but hot environment, and I'm over here in smoggy Central California. So,
I'm coming.
oh, okay.
Trick or
Trick or
treat.
treat.
Trick or treat.
um, but yeah, no. How cool. What a spooky sound. Um, we probably, when Paul gets back, wrap it up because I think his trick or treaters are going to increase due to the
Oh
time
yeah.
right now. So
Yes.
I think we'll wrap it up when he comes back because he's probably going to be up and down.
Are you gonna get any trick or treaters and where you're at?
No, I live in a major city and I'm not in a what do you call it, like a suburban area anymore. So not
Oh,
like a
so they don't
typical
kids don't go
house.
around. Oh
Mm-mm.
wow.
It's like urban jungle kind of thing, you know. So
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
no, no. I mean, there are houses in suburban areas here, but I don't live in that area. So, but
Well,
Gotcha.
I think even anymore even in the suburban areas, the kids do either the trunk or treats at the churches, or they do a Halloween event at school, and then they kind of stay
mm-hmm.
home now.
Yeah,
Really?
A lot of
my,
times,
Man,
I think.
that's
Do
so
you get
sad.
You're in a neighborhood. Do you get trick or treaters?
No, no,
Yeah.
it's too
you're more
spread
rural, right?
out, I think.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of, but it's like, yeah, the houses are not next to each other and there's not a lot of
No.
kids here. It's more retired people.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wish.
Yeah. I've seen neighborhoods around here where kids are trick or treating at night, but I don't like. No, I'm not in that area. So, all right. So Paul, we figure that your intensity of trick or treaters will increase due to the time.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
moved down here
So,
because I also have like a sinus
yeah.
infection, and when I go down the stairs and I bend
Oh
down,
no,
I'm like going
my head.
lightheaded, and like the
Uh-oh.
kids must think I'm drunk. I'm like, yeah, here's no candy. I'm down here.
So we figure we'll give it a little bit more and then we'll wrap it up for you because
Yeah, yeah. I feel bad that
no,
I'm
no,
going.
we keep
Now I'm right
yelling
No,
as
here.
soon
it's
as
No,
Halloween,
I
man.
love it. I
no,
love it. Yeah.
as soon as you
Part of
take
the
your
deal.
headphones off, we yell trick or treat.
That's funny.
So, um,
I knew
yeah.
a guy whose daughter must have been about 4 at the time,
Mhm.
and it was the first time she kind of experienced Halloween. And when the kids would come and the father would bring the candy out, she would run out there to take the candy back
Oh,
from the kids.
That's her candy.
Yeah, it's her candy.
my older kids did the whole trick or treating thing, and my youngest one, he did it for a minute, but then one year my mom took him to Disneyland on Halloween, and when he
Ah,
came back, so the next year I was like, "Do you want to go trick or treating?" He's like, "In Disneyland?" I'm like, "No, just the neighborhood." He's like, "What? Why would?"
yeah.
Once you've seen Disneyland at Halloween time,
I heard it's
nothing
amazing,
is
right?
in comparison. He refused to trick or
That's
treat.
my favorite time to go.
It's and every shop you go to, every corner of Disney Town, you get candy, you get treats, you get all kinds of
Uh,
stuff. So now you want me to walk the neighborhood for a Snickers
mm,
bar? Like no,
yeah,
Yeah, that
exactly.
sounds like
he was
work,
over it.
man.
Yeah, he was
Screw that.
over it. So yeah, she took him when he was 6. I was like, thanks a lot, mom, because that was it. Get him
Ruined
over.
it for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
Never
man.
really.
Back in my day, we'd
Yeah.
walk one neighborhood, take it
Mhm.
back, fill up
Oh yeah,
one
we
Yeah.
would
pillowcase,
stop
take
off
it
at each
back, and then
other's.
go
Yep,
to the other neighborhood,
stop
and
off at each
we
other's.
walked 20 miles.
Yeah.
We'd stop off at whoever's house is closest, trade out pillowcases, and go back out again.
Yeah, dude.
But that
Exactly.
was the
Yeah.
'80s, it's different.
Yeah.
Like I think when I was 6 or 7, we were just my mom and dad are like, "Hey, be careful." There's like 15 kids in our group, and we're just running the neighborhoods,
Hmm.
Oh, how
switching
fun.
costumes and stuff. Like, let's go hide behind this tree. Give me your costume. You can have mine.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, but nowadays
Oh.
I don't know. I see kids still trick or treating, but not where I'm at. So.
Well, I live in a heavy Asian neighborhood,
Mm.
and these kids, the little ones, are first generation. So I think for their parents, mostly Korean and Chinese, I don't think there was Halloween was big there. So this is not, this is like fun
Oh,
for
it's
them.
Oh
new
yeah,
for them.
So
That's
they,
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
it's
cool.
like
that is kind of
something
fun.
new.
You probably have the best restaurants then. Korean food. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
Chinese
live
food, that's my
in
alley.
Flushing. Yeah, and it's huge Asian. It's
Mm.
further up is Chinese, and then from that's Main Street is Chinese, but and then as you go further towards me, it becomes Korean and then yeah, that's the big split. No,
Mm.
we don't have very many Japanese. We don't have any
Mm.
Japanese here. You know, you guys, you have a lot of
I think
Japanese here.
California would have more Japanese
Yeah,
yeah, than Chinese, but yeah, here in Central California, we're like a melting pot. I mean, there's no more of one race than the other.
Oh,
It's just
really? That's
a
interesting.
melting pot. You have all kinds of
Yeah. Well, we do too. I
yeah.
mean, Queens is supposedly the most diverse
Hmm.
borough in I think almost like the United States. I mean, we
Hmm.
have, you know, well, it's not fair. I mean, because New York, well, California's got. I mean, we have like 10 million. California must have
Hmm.
as much or
Yeah,
maybe more.
where I
Oh,
am,
you're in Queens. Wow.
I'm like
Yeah. You know New York at all?
I
No,
know a
no.
little bit. I know I've been there many times, but
Oh,
I've stomped around Queens just a little, not too much.
yeah. There's no reason to go to
Yeah.
Queens. Is a waste. Yeah.
In my industry, yeah, I'll tell you off camera, but I go to areas like that frequently. Well, I did, and back in the day. Anyway, here I'm about less than an hour from San Francisco and less than an hour from Sacramento, so right in the middle of all of the major stuff. So big melting pot of different cultures and people here.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we need to wrap it up. I don't know. We talked about our favorite candy, Victorian obsession with death, and grab that QR code, buy the book, um, and I guess.
Oh,
There's
there
Trick
you
the
or
are.
dum
treat.
Trick or treat.
dum. He threw up the
Perfect
music.
cue.
That's fun.
That's
Good. We can
funny.
see him actually giving out
Yeah,
candy. This is fun.
Oh,
fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Gambino handing out trick or treat candy.
yeah.
The
Quite
tradition
on
still
brand, if I
exists.
say so myself.
It's so much fun. We're getting the true experience here now.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have done that from the beginning. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Paul, we're living vicariously through you,
yeah,
you
Yeah,
giving
we're
out the
loving
I
candy.
should
it.
bring the. I should bring the people might get upset.
yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
I don't want to show.
But anyway, you threw those dum dums up there. What flavors you got?
Yeah, I know. Let's see. We have
Pineapple.
orange. We do have apple.
Oh, apple. Yeah,
I'll have to try that one. I've never tried that
Cherry.
one.
I like the apple one.
Oh, this is good. Butterscotch. That
Oh
probably.
yeah, you know
Oh,
what?
that's a
You
good
have a
one.
good
Yeah.
flavor for
Yeah.
butterscotch, but you know what? The cherry
Oh,
never
Oh, and
really
here,
tastes like cherry.
right.
There's
Here's
mine.
the
blue.
blue.
That's
Yeah.
Those are
mine.
great.
Those blue.
I like the coconut ones. I just remembered.
Mm.
I think I
Oh,
like the.
really? That sounds good.
I
Oh
think
no,
there
you know
is a
what?
coconut
This is not a. It's not a. Look,
or pina
it's like some
colada,
kind
maybe.
of like raspberry thing. You
Oh
see those things?
yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I
blue
love it because
raspberry.
it's sweet and sour.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at this. This is a good one.
Root beer. Oh, I
Root
remember.
beer.
Oh, I
Oh
never ate
yeah.
that one.
What were those little
Do
root
you
beer
people eat
candies
black
that
licorice?
were
Oh
shaped like
yeah,
a
the little
barrel?
barrels.
Oh, I remember that.
Well, what?
Those little root beer candies that were shaped like
Oh yeah,
barrels?
the little
Mm.
barrels. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there used to be a candy. I don't know. It's probably before your time. It was before my time, and for some reason it was still in candy. So it was called rock and roll stage planks. Have you ever seen those?
What?
No,
No,
what
that
did those
sounds
look
Yeah.
awesome.
like?
That sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, I'll look it up. It was like a. It was like they were like these flat things. Rock.
Oh, are they like Nico wafers?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
You remember those?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm looking it up. Let's see if I can grab a picture.
It's like one of those old-timey
Ah, yeah. Look,
candies like squirrel nut zippers or
exactly. Yeah,
bit
kind of
of
like that.
honeys or something like that.
Now there's two. The one that there's something called Uncle Somebody's, but no, the ones that were 10 cents and it has like musical notes and says,
Got it. Found it.
you found it, right?
Yep.
Those
Oh,
were
good.
cool. They tasted like crap, but it was cool to get, rock and roll.
Right.
It's cool. It's like
Same
vitamin.
with those dots on the paper, those
Oh,
weird
yeah, that
dots
was
on the
awesome, right?
paper.
You
Those
ate a lot
were
of
weird.
paper with those too, though.
Or the
I know
wax
the
slips.
paper.
It was always stuck to the
Yeah.
back of the little dot. Remember when you
Yeah.
got older, you would have like, if you had gum or like something
Oh,
violent. Oh, there's rock and
Oh.
roll stage planks. So.
Is that what you were talking
wow.
about?
Yeah. Like I
Rock
said.
and roll stage planks. Wow.
I've never seen that.
I think that at least three of us have officially aged ourselves.
Yeah.
If you don't realize how
I'm way
old we
older
are
than you
now,
guys.
now you do.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I mean, Stage Planks was before me too, but I'm
Yeah.
definitely way older than you guys.
I feel blessed at my age because I was born in the 70s and literally grew up in the 80s. So it was to look back at like the experiences I had versus how children are raised these days. It's
Right.
amazing, you know. Trick or
Trick or
treat.
Trick or
treat.
treat.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, growing up before the internet was a very different world.
Yeah, you could ride your bikes all over town, and your parents thought you were just right around the neighborhood, but now you're completely across town. And so,
Yeah.
you know, exploring all the mysteries in the world at like 8 years old and not really fearing anything.
Yeah.
Nowadays you can't even let your children out of your sight for a second.
Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to a Gen X friend this week, and we were talking about like, just going over and knocking on your buddy's window and saying, "Hey,
Mhm.
what you got for fireworks? I got an idea." And he's like, "I don't know, man, but I have two model rockets and a Fonzie doll and some gasoline." All right, perfect. Let's go.
Mhm. The good old 80s.
Yeah.
Nowadays, things are just different. Um, Speaking of that, and we'll wrap this up. But did anybody watch the Netflix docu series, the Perfect Neighbor?
Mm-mm.
It was
No.
horrific,
Oh,
horrific
I
story, and it's
didn't.
Are you sure the
children.
title's ironic? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
children in this neighborhood would just go outside every night and play, and I thought that was absolutely amazing because none of these kids are on the internet. They're not in the house playing video games. They're all out in this field that surrounds their houses, and they're
Trick or
playing.
Trick or
treat.
treat.
Um, Most of the footage in this docu series is it's all footage from chest cameras from cops and ring cameras. There are no cameras used. There's no like action. They're recording
Oh,
everything's
those are my favorite ones.
it's pieced together with the officers' chest cams and people's ring cameras, and window cameras, whatnot. Um, anyway, this woman would harass these kids, scream at them like the cops would come out and they'd say, why are you calling? Well, I don't want these kids outside playing. They're annoying me. And
Um,
it gets to a point where I just don't want to give it all away, but someone dies. We'll put it that way, at the hands of the
Otherwise, it wouldn't be a series.
right. Yeah, but it's so horrific. I normally don't cry during shows like that, but at one point I was reduced to tears, completely just
Mm.
lost it in my
Oh,
kitchen. And I was like, why am I so upset? But I guess it's because it was kids. They were playing.
yeah.
Right.
So I was talking about that series. Anyway, check it
And
out.
humans are
Poor,
monsters.
yep. Poor Paul looks like he's fading.
I know.
So,
No, no, I'm not
Paul, yeah.
fading. It's just that I got to recuperate from
oh
bending
Yeah,
yeah,
down.
the it's the
Uh,
sinus infection, right?
yeah, it's when I bend
Oh,
down. It's
Yeah,
like,
man, that
boom.
stuff is a mess.
Yeah.
you
yeah.
need a head
I used to have those
massage.
a lot.
I made it. I went to one of those urgent. I normally never go to the doctor. I do.
Oh,
Trick
trick
or
or
Trick
treat.
or
treat.
treat.
All right, we need to wrap this up when he comes back because I
Poor
told you,
guy.
based on the time right now, it's going to increase for him. So,
Yeah, he's gonna
Yeah.
pass out on camera if he keeps
yeah,
having to
right.
come back and
I
forth.
know, poor
Right.
guy.
Just throw this link up there one more time, you guys. If you're watching, just
The
screenshot this
pictures
or
are
yep,
phenomenal.
take a picture of the QR code. It'll take you
Perfect
right to
coffee
the link.
table book.
Yep, take you right to the link to buy the book. So check it out. In the show notes in the description box on YouTube and I think in other platforms, I will have links to Paul's Instagram, to this book, and wherever else he's on social media. So you can find him and all his books in that place. So,
Thank you
yep.
very much.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up
Awesome.
for you,
Thank
Paul.
you. Happy
Thank
Halloween,
Paul
Happy
Gambino,
everyone.
thank
Halloween.
you
Thanks
so
as
much for
always.
hanging with us,
I
man.
Yes.
so appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah.
Really
So
appreciate it.
fun.
All right, guys. Have a great Halloween.
All
Happy
Thanks.
right.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.